So, your wife has blocked you, and you're asking yourself, what should I do? Rather, what did I do that made her to block me? And also, you're asking yourself, what can I do to make her unblock me? Probably your wife has blocked you on WhatsApp, she has blocked you on all the social media, and you are in total confusion. If this is you, then I want you to watch this video till the end to find answers to all your questions. Communication is really important for us human beings. We need to communicate, especially with people who are very close to us. And when somebody, in this case, when somebody who is very close to us as our wife blocks us on social media and refuses to connect with us, it breaks our heart. If you are feeling this way, do not worry, because in this video, I'm going to take you step by step into understanding the following thing. So broadly, I'm going to talk about the three things. The first thing, I'm going to talk about why did she block you? And when I'm going to talk about why did she block you, I'm going to talk about from an expert perspective. The second thing I'm going to talk about is why do you want her to unblock you? Because that's a very important question you got to answer for yourself in order to find the answer to the question, how do I unblock? How do I make her unblock me? And the third is, what should you do? And under what should you do, I'm going to talk in detail 8 tips. I'm going to give you 8 tips to find the way to make her unblock you. So let's jump into this video. But before I begin, before I talk about all these points, I want to find out from you, are you the right person to watch this video? If you're a kind of person who loves blaming, doesn't want to take responsibility, you think your wife is always wrong, then don't watch this video because you're going to waste your time. But if you're a kind of person who is always looking for answers to make your marriage awesome, who is always looking for answers to bring love into your relationship, a person who has an open mind, then this video is for you. So if you are that kind of person, continue watching. So the first thing you need to understand is, why did she block you? Often I've heard my clients telling me that she has blocked me because she wants to show how powerful she is. She wants to make me suffer. She wants to take revenge on me. But ask yourself, did she get up one fine morning and say to herself, okay, today onwards, I'm going to block my husband. Today onwards, I'm going to live alone. I don't want him. That did not happen. You had a fight, you had a conflict. No matter for what reason, that's not important. But you had a conflict, and that led to all this. So the first thing you got to understand is, why did she block you? The most common reason why people block the other person, because they think that if they communicate, they are going to have one more fight, one more argument, one more friction. And our brain hates frictions, our brain hates conflict, our brain just hates it. Because in our brain, whenever we have an argument, whenever we have a fight, the part of the brain that gets activated is the part of the brain which also gets activated when we are going through physical pain. So when we feel hurt, that's when we have a fight. Because during a fight, we say things and our spouse says things that we generally don't tell each other, and they are very hurtful. So the reason she has blocked you is because she's scared of getting hurt once again. She feels that if I talk to him, we're going to have one more fight. So might as well not talk to each other, and that will, you know, that will sort of make sure that you don't have fight. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is, why do you want her to unblock you? And once you understand, I'm going to talk about 3 points. And once you understand these 3 things, I want you to write in the comments which of them is your reason. And if you don't find your reason, then write your own reason in the comments. And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to personally reply to those comments. The first reason why generally men want their spouse to unblock is so that they can convince her, tell her that why they have to get back, why their view is the right view, and why they need to have a great marriage. In other words, they want to convince the other person into believing what they believe in. The second reason is feel good that all is well. So as long as we are communicating, as long as we are unblocked, I feel that okay, everything is well. But in reality, is it all well? Is it really well? The third thing is because you can't live without talking to her. This is the most common thing that I've heard men telling me. You know, I love her so much that I cannot sleep without talking to her. This might look like love, that you really love her, but ask yourself, is this mature love? Immature love is all about, though at the superficial level it looks like really love, but it's not. Here what you're saying is, because I can't live without talking to her, that's why I need to talk to her. Whereas you're basically saying is, I my need is more important than her need. Her need is she does not want to talk to me. That's her need for whatever reason. But my need is I want to talk to her. So I'm calling it as love. And in the name of love, what I'm actually saying is, see, my need is more important. So pay attention to my need. And I'm calling that as love. Now that's the love of teenagers. That's not the love that is expected in a marriage. That's not mature love. Mature love is telling the other person what do you want and doing what the other person wants. Giving first instead of expecting to get something in return. And as we go along, I'm going to talk about it in depth. So are you guys ready for the 8 tips that I'm going to give you? Before you continue watching this video, I want you to get a book and a pen, and I want you to write down all these 8 tips. And then later on, I want you to reflect on your marriage, on your situation, what is happening, and find the answers that you need. Because every marriage is same, at the same time different. It is same because all our brains follow the same laws of relationships. It's different because your contexts are different. So get a book, pause this video, get a book and a pen, and then continue. Lovely. I hope you have got the book and a pen and you are ready to write down and make note of all the things I'm going to share. And later on, you are going to reflect over it and find your own answers. The first thing is understand. Understand. That means stop, think, and then do. As simple as that. So what do you need to understand? The thing you need to understand is what is she is asking herself. What is she asking herself? Now, she's constantly, once she has blocked you, she's asking herself, is it right what I did? Is it, I blocked him. Is that right? Was that good? And her brain is constantly looking for reasons for blocking you. And now, if you do things that are not supposed to be done, you are impatient, you are persistent, you are trying to call other people to tell her to call you, you're only giving her reasons to block you. You're only giving her reasons to block you. So the first thing is, ask, understand that what is she asking herself? And the thing she is asking herself is, should I continue to block him? And your purpose, your work is to give her less and less reasons to continue to block you. And how do you do that? I'll explain it in the other 7 points. So first, understand that she's constantly asking herself, should I block him or unblock him? And give her more and more reasons to unblock you. The second thing is claim your power. Claim your power. As soon as your wife has blocked you, you have gone depressed probably. I hear this from men that she has not spoken to me for 7 days. I don't know what to do. I can't focus on my work. I cannot do anything. I'm only thinking about her. And here, the tip is to claim your power. And I don't mean be arrogant and tell her that I can I can live without you. I don't need you. Don't create anger and hatred towards her. That's not claiming your power. Claiming your power basically means that realizing your action that made her to block you. Realizing your action that made her to block you. It's not that she just got up one morning and said to herself, I'm going to block my husband. No, you did something. Whether it is right, wrong, does not matter. What matters is that hurt her. That's all. That's the way we need to look at relationships. In relationships, most people look at it as, oh, I did not do anything wrong. It's not about right and wrong. It's only about hurt and love. And these two things are not measured by me, they're measured by the other person. So when I do something, whether it is hurtful or loving, is measured by the other person, not by me. So take few moments once you finish this with this video and ask yourself, what was that action that you did that brought about this reaction? Make a note of it so that it does not occur again. What's the focus? The focus is not just to make her unblock you, not just to make her talk to you. Your focus is it doesn't happen again. Your focus is love returns to your marriage. That's what your focus is. So realize your action that made her to block you. The third thing is be a mature lover. Be a mature lover. All the movies that we watch, all the series that we watch, they all that they project is being an immature lover. Somebody who is impatient, somebody who is persistent, somebody who is trying to get, somebody who is negative about their partner. That's what all these movies and serials project. And many a times we think that is love. That's not love. It's something like this. Imagine you're sitting in front of her. This is what Earl Nightingale speaks about. It's really stupid to sit in front of a stove and ask the stove to give you heat and then say, I'll put the wood later. That doesn't work that way. First, you have to put the wood and then you'll get the heat. The same thing with relationships. The first thing is I need to understand if I want her to understand me. The first thing is I need to trust her if I want her to trust me. The first thing is I need to listen if I want her to listen to me. The first thing is I need to stop defending if I want her to criticize me, if I want her to stop criticizing me. So be a mature lover, and it means the three things. The first thing is ask yourself, what does she want? Understand what she wants. Those the men who are in the coaching program, I have a whole separate course where I help the person to understand their spouse's personality type, how their wife thinks, acts, what does she do when she's angry, what does she do when she's upset, stressed out, how does she communicate. You get to understand the person from the inside using a personality profiling tool. So the first thing for you to understand is the first thing for you to know is what does she want. That's being a mature lover. The second thing is think of her need. What's her need at this moment? Does she want to be quiet? Does she want time to think? Does she want to stay away from you? Does she want peace? What does she really want? What is the reason that has made her to block you? What is that need? Is she trying to fulfill by blocking you? So write that down. Write that down. That's the only way, gentlemen, you can get to bringing back love into your relation, because your objective is not just making her unblock you. That's not the point. The point is you want her to accept you in her life. The third is let her make the choice. Let her make the choice. That's scary. That's really, really scary. And that's why the fourth point is risk losing her. Why am I saying this? Risk losing her. You you cannot you cannot force the person to stay with you. That's not possible. And more you do it, what happens is more you persist, the other person resists. More you force the other person to do something, the other person does not want to do it. Not because she really doesn't want to do it, it's because you're forcing her to do it. That's human nature. When somebody forces us, we resist from within. But if there is no force, we start thinking, what is the right thing to do? What is the good thing to do? And we do that. So when I talk about let her make the choice, it also means letting her letting her decide. And it is also means you risk losing her. But understand this way. If she is lost, there's an old saying, and many of us have heard it. If you really love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it never was. Now that's mature love. If she goes, she's gone. You move on with life. But if she comes back, then you have a wonderful relationship. But the point is, she should not move on because you were not mature enough to love her. That's very important. If you are mature enough to love her the way she wants to be loved, and then she decides to move on, that's fine. That's wonderful. Because then you end this whole relationship on a right note, not on bitterness, not on anger, not on hatred, not on unforgiveness. You end on love. The next point is find a way to communicate mature love. Find a way to communicate mature love. Understand your objective is not to make her unblock you. Your objective is to have a great marriage. Your objective is to bring back love. So find a way to let her know that you are totally fine with she blocking you because that's what she wants. And you're letting her know that you are on her side and you're totally fine. Not that, you're telling her not of indifference, you're telling her out of love. You're saying that because this is what you want, I'm totally fine because I love you. And what is important for you is important for me. So I'm totally okay you blocking me. And I'll be there when you unblock me. You can communicate this message through anybody that you want, a confidant, a good friend of hers that you trust, anybody. Maybe a letter, I don't know, but you can find a way to communicate, letting her know that you have not given up on her, one, letting her know that you are not, you're not fuming with anger, letting her know that you love her and you want her, you have her best interest in mind. And that's the reason you are allowing her to block you, and you will be there when she unblocks you. Now that's when that is done, you are communicating to her that she is important, she matters to you, her need matters to you, and that makes the person love you again. That's the power. That's the power we hold. More we push, there's a push back. But when we just stop pushing, the other person thinks and starts coming close to us. The sixth tip, this is a very important tip. Don't go around asking for advice from everyone. Understand one thing, there are not very many people who have awesome marriages. And anybody who is not having an awesome marriage will not give you an advice to have an awesome marriage. All that they're going to tell you is how bad wives are, how ruthless wives are, how manipulative wives are, how critical wives are. everything negative about wives. And at the end of that discussion, you're going to feel more and more angry and upset about your spouse. And that's not what you want. You want to feel love towards her, because your ultimate goal is not to move apart. Your ultimate goal is to come close. So just ask yourself, before you share anything with anybody, how great is that person's relationship? Does he hold his wife with utmost respect? Does he appreciate his wife, or does he talk negative things about his wife? If he appreciates, if he holds his wife with utmost respect, that's the person you share with. Because that person will give you advice only to get back. That person will talk highly about your spouse as well. And that takes us to the seventh point. The seventh thing to do is become attractive. Physically, mentally, emotionally become attractive. What do I mean by physically attractive? I mean that keep yourself fit, exercise, go to the gym, do something that will make you strong from outside as well as from inside. Work on your emotions so that you don't just react to things, you just call her up, shout, scream. You don't do all those things. And also work on your actions. The last point is become aware of your end goal. What's your end goal? Whatever you do, keep that goal in front of your eyes. Most people think about how can I show it to her. It's not about it. What's important is how can I bring love into the relationship. And one of the great ways is to get a coach for yourself, because if you knew what had to be done, you would have done it by now. The very reason you're not doing what needs to be done is because you don't know what needs to be done. So get a coach for yourself. Let that coach guide you. Let that coach mentor you. Let that coach teach you. So that when when you get a coach, there are two things which are going to happen. He will mentor you to get back to your spouse. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, once you get back to your spouse, he will help you to keep that love going so that this situation never comes back. Many a times there is, the husband and wife are separated for a few months, and then there is a pressure from her family for her to go back, pressure from your family to bring her back. Then both of you come back, and after a few months you're back to square one. She is in her house, you are in your house, and you're fighting. She has blocked you, and then there's a pressure, and then you come back. Now that's very hurtful for you, hurtful for her, and hurtful for the relationship. And if you have a child, it's really hurtful and stressful for the child. So when you have a coach, he will help you by teaching you, guiding you to make sure that this doesn't appear again. So what I want you to do, just to summarize, what have I shared with you? Let's look at that first, and then I'll give you a task to do before you leave um, this, before you end watching this video. What have we looked at? The first thing we looked at is, why did she block you? Then I spoke about to avoid hurt, and I explained that. The second thing is, why do you want her to unblock you? And all the wrong reasons, though they look really nice, but they're all about me, what I want. And then we spoke about these 8 things. Understand what she is asking herself and make her think the right thing. The second thing is claim your power. Third, we spoke about being a mature lover. Then we spoke about risk losing her in order to gain her back. Then finding a way to communicate mature love means letting her know that you're totally fine. She's blocking you, and whenever she unblocks you, you are there. And that way you are making her fall in love with you again, because you're demonstrating love. Don't ask her for advice from everyone, because a lot of people out there will give you the wrong advice. Not because they're bad, just because they're in a bad marriage. The seventh one is become attractive so that your wife gets attracted to you. And the last one is become aware of your end goal and do whatever it takes to reach that goal, including getting a coach for yourself. So write in the comments one or two or three things that you learned from watching this video. Because more you write in the comments, what you're doing is you're not only writing over there, you're also internalizing. And as you write, you'll realize that you're finding a lot of insights that you can implement in your situation. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And as always, every week I do a 90 minutes masterclass. And if you have not signed up for this masterclass, that means you're not getting any messages or emails from me. All that you have to do is go to coachval, C-O-A-C-H val.co and sign up for this masterclass. So don't forget to subscribe because every week I put up new videos. Every week I speak in depth about the situations, the problems that men face. So if you don't want to miss them, make sure you subscribe, make sure you press the bell icon and make sure you write in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.